Okay, let's talk about 3 enlightened absolute rulers that you need to know. While the Enlightenment started really in England and in France and Western Europe, do we think that any of those English or French monarchs are going to adopt any of those policies? No, because they have all the power and they've had it for so long. So where does the Enlightenment actually take root at first? In the East. Don't get me wrong, these are still absolute monarchs, but they're adopting Enlightenment philosophies and they're able to kind of pick and choose which ones that they want to adopt. Generally speaking, though, they are trying to promote the good of the people in their land, increased access to education, religious toleration, and law codes that are legalized and standardized. This is Joseph II, or Joseph II of Austria, and I already talked about why I loved him in the last video. This is Frederick II, or Frederick the Great of Prussia. Now, Frederick was a patron of Voltaire, as we see here, and he wrote this essay called Anti-Machiavel, in which he critiques Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince, chapter by chapter. He says it is not better to be feared than loved. Instead, the ruler should consider the well-being of his subjects. While Louis XIV said, "I am the state," Frederick said, "I am a servant of the state." He was also pro-religious toleration and freedom of the press and definitely increased access to education. And lucky for Prussia, he was also a military genius. Catherine II of Russia, or Catherine the Great of Russia, came into power because she kind of helped assassinate her husband. She liked Voltaire and Diderot. Diderot actually served as her personal librarian for a while. And she, like Frederick, stressed the importance of education and abolished torture in her lands. But she was unkind to the serfs and doubled down on serfdom. Here is the thought that I will leave you with. Joseph II of Austria is my favorite of the enlightened absolute monarchs, and he's just called Joseph II of Austria. Frederick the Great and Catherine the Great. Why do you think it is, learners, that Joseph is not remembered in history as being called the Great? Even though I would say he was better than the other two. Can't wait to hear your theories.